Cryotic sat on a rather uncomfortable crate in his basement. He had an awful migraine and couldn't account for his whereabouts for the last 24 hours. Cry held his hands out and produced a faint white glow and touched his temples. The migraine automatically felt better and was now just a small headache. He got up and walked up his basement stairs to his house. He looked around at his little mechanical spiders he built out of light bulbs and wire. He heard a small mew and looked to his right. Sitting on the bookshelf was his little mechanical cat, Sparks. The mage walked over to it and pet his little bronze skull. Sparks happily purred and mewed some more. Cry chuckled and sighed and walked into the kitchen. There, he got out some beef jerky. He walked outside and seeped in the fresh air and bright sun.
Too bad I sunburn easily. Otherwise, I'd go out in the daylight more often. This is why I own a night bar.
Cryotic walked back in and looked at his rusty grandfather clock. It read 12:26. Just a normal day. Waking up way too late and going to sleep way too late. Mage Cryotic took a bite of the dried meat and just walked around. He hummed a dark little tune and smiled. People call him weird, and some even call him emo. But he likes dark and twisted things, like his depressing lullabies and makeshift animals he invented himself. He always used some real bone and mostly bronze or gold, like his little cat Sparks. Cry also worked with potions as he was a mage. Most of his potions were harmless, only used for curing sicknesses or making drinks taste better. The potions that were dangerous, though, he kept in his basement along with his scrap metal, especially a few of the deadly ones. Cry picked out a random book from his bookcase and started to read. The letters on the page started to warp a little bit, and he cursed. He was dyslexic, therefore he couldn't read quite properly. Cry could still read, though. In fact, he was often praised for his story nights at the late-night bar on stage. It was just a little bit difficult. He also couldn't write well. Most people his age could write rather flowingly, though. But he, not so much. Cryotic sighed in exasperation as he set the book down on his coffee table. The mage walked over to the entrance of his attic and pulled the thread to the ladder. A ladder strung down, and Cry climbed up. He usually goes to his attic just to think because there was a nice window overlooking Victubia. Cry finished climbing and left the stepladder down just in case Sparks wanted to come find him. He looked through the window and smirked happily. He walked over and opened the window, letting in some fresh air to combat the musty smell of his attic. He began walking backward to the chair, admiring the view, when he bumped into something. He turned around and screamed. Blood was everywhere. Thick, velvety, dark red blood. Cry slipped and fell onto his back and stared in horror. His mouth opened in a silent scream. What had he done last night?